Hello, welcome. Today we are going to talk about idioms. Now, I know it says business English, but it's not just business idioms. These idioms can be used in any everyday situation. It's just we use idioms a lot in business because they give us more meaning from simple words. So let's talk about what is an idiom. An idiom is a group of words that share meaning. So we don't get the meaning from the definition. A tough break. These have three separate words with three definitions, okay? But these definitions don't give me the meaning. The definitions don't help me here, okay? The definition is only to give me a picture, an idea to think about. And that picture I have to use in my situation. And then that's where the meaning comes from. The meaning is from the situation. So let's just talk about an idiom, for example. A tough break. So these words have definition, but those definitions are not the meaning, okay? Because tough can be difficult, and break can be something suddenly happening, okay? That's the idea. We're using a picture from a definition. So let me give you an example. Like, if I can, let's say I break my pen, okay? Break. That's what we mean from this definition, but this picture is what I want. That definition is not what I'm talking about. Tough break, I mean sudden action, okay? So let's put these together and try to think of a picture. And then try to think of a situation, because a tough break we would use to talk about something that did not go our way, something bad luck happened to me. So let me give you an example. I can say, I had a tough break, meaning I had a situation that was bad luck, okay? Something did not happen well. So break does not mean something is broken. Break here just means something happens suddenly, okay? So that's what we're talking about. It's a picture. So this is why idioms can be so difficult for people, because you look at a definition, but the definition isn't helping me. So let's talk about how we can learn idioms. There's two ways we should think about this. Now, idioms come from culture. They come from situation. So for example, a lot of idioms come from like sports or baseball. So it can be kind of confusing if we don't have any experience from that situation, even for native speakers. I don't know all idioms. A lot of idioms come from sports. I do not follow sports. I do not know a lot of idioms from sports. So we treat it like vocabulary. I have to learn what this phrase means, and I have to use these words together for one meaning. So I have to treat this like it's vocabulary. A ballpark figure, ballpark number, I cannot separate these words. These words have to stay together so that they have this shared meaning. So you can memorize it like vocabulary. You just know ballpark figure, ballpark number means estimate, okay? A guess, a general guess. You just have to memorize that. Now, that's usually how we do it in English. I treat it like vocabulary. I know what these two words together mean, and that meaning I remember. But there are a lot of idioms that you're just not going to know, even me. So how can I guess the meaning even if I don't understand the context that it's from? Like, I don't understand that this is from baseball. I couldn't even tell you why we say this anymore. It's so old from the past, no one really knows why. So now we just remember it. So now let's talk about it in a general sense. That's one way to do it. Treat it like vocabulary. So how do we learn vocabulary? Well, we have to do it more than once. My recommendation is when you want to learn vocabulary, you should try to do it at least 3 times. So what does it mean? What is the meaning of the word or the phrase? So that's one instance. I know that ballpark figure means inexact estimate or general guess. Okay, so I just remember it. So second time, I have to write it down. This is the part that most people skip. How do you use the word? How do you use the phrase? I know a lot of students write down vocabulary in their notebook, but that's it. It's just a word and a definition. But we have to put these words into sentences. Same with these idioms. I have to use these idioms in a sentence. I can't just say the idiom. It has no meaning. Everything needs to be in a sentence. So idioms can be noun-based, verb-based, or preposition-based. So if I'm going to write these idioms down, if I'm going to use these idioms, I need to know how to use these idioms. So for instance, it could be noun-based. A is a noun, single. A tough break. That means I need to use this phrase as a noun. These three words need to be treated like a noun. So, it's a singular thing. I can say, I have, or I had a tough break. He had a tough break. Or even, it doesn't have to be based on a person. That is a tough break. You tell me, oh, I didn't get the job. Oh, that's a tough break. Bad luck. But I still have to use it in a sentence. So I need to put it like a noun. Same thing. How can I use this? Ahead of the curve. This is a preposition or verb. We have to use it like that. An adjective, to be. So what is to be? I am. He is. You are. I am ahead of the curve, meaning I'm above average. I'm better than normal. Now, like I said, you don't know why we say this together, and you don't have to know why we say this together. If I was to explain this idiom, it would take too long and it doesn't really matter. This is based off science, ahead of the curve. If we have an average, we have a curve that shows the average, we're saying we're above average. But like I said, if you don't understand where the idiom comes from, it does not matter. You just have to understand, what does this phrase mean together and how can I use it in a sentence? So step one, what does it mean? Step two, how do I use it in a sentence? So to be, ahead, I am, he is, they are, ahead of the curve. So it could be verb-based, preposition-based, at stake. It could even be something like this. Catch someone off guard. Could be verb-based. Catch, I need to use infinitive, to catch. Or it needs to be ing, it needs to be continuous. So, I caught him off guard. Catching someone off guard, I still have to use these in sentences. So understand how to use a noun. Use it like a noun. How to use a verb, how to use a preposition. So step one, what's the meaning? Step two, how do I use it? Step three, practice speaking it. And you're more likely to remember these words, and this is what we would do for any vocabulary. It's just these phrases, these are more than one word that share one meaning. Now, this list I'm going to give you, it's 100 idioms. It's too many to learn. You don't need them all. I don't need them all. I just don't. This is not how English works. You don't need to memorize as many words as possible. There's too many words to learn, okay? So, guess what? Your best friend is the same for anything, a dictionary, okay? So I will include in some notes these pictures for these vocabulary. I will also include some websites you can go to. So dictionary.com, thesaurus.com, also theidiom.com. It's an idiom dictionary, okay? So this is you have to treat it like vocabulary. So understand how to use these words in a sentence and how to speak these words and what do they mean. So as we said, there's tons of idioms. There's lots and lots of idioms. You don't need them all. The beauty of English is that it's very flexible and that it allows some style. This is what I recommend. If you want to use idioms, pick an idiom that you like and that fits your situation. Because some of these idioms are for positive situations, some of these idioms are for negative situation. I would just find some idioms that you like. It's about style. Because this is not formal English. This is not how we speak formally. So this is all about your personal style. So pick a phrase that you like and then try to figure out how to use that phrase in your daily life. Because that's how we do it in English. I don't need to know what all these idioms are. I pick a small amount of idioms that I like, that fit my style or fit my situation, and those are the ones I use. So it would be useless, I think, to try to memorize 100 idioms. What I would do is read some idioms and find the ones that fit your style or that you like the sound of. Because that's what it comes down to. We don't use these in a formal way, we use these in a casual way. So they really let you express your style, express your feeling. That's the whole point of these idioms. It's more than just a vocabulary word. It's a way of expressing emotion and situation in a simple phrase, okay? Like a tough break. When we say a tough break, let's go back. So a tough break, it means, oh, I'm sorry, or I feel bad. It's a way to feel bad for someone, but putting it into a phrase. Like, instead of saying, oh, you didn't get a job, oh, I'm sorry. I don't have to say that. I can say, oh, that's a tough break, because I include emotion into this phrase. I'm telling you, oh, that's bad luck, too bad, it's not a big deal. So we got to understand that these idioms are used to express meaning and feeling. So because it's about feeling, you need to find the idioms that fit you. It would be silly to try to memorize all of these. And I don't use all of these either. It's not something that's necessary. So find ones that fit you, and those are the ones you can practice. Because remember, you're not going to remember them if you just write them down and try to memorize it. You need to find phrases that you will use in your daily life. That way you'll remember them, okay? Now some of these are very common and that you'll use a lot, and some of these you might never use, so why do you need to know them? Now for this one, like backroom deal, it just means a decision made private, back room, no one can see. Deal, we make an agreement. So that's it, we're trying to give a picture. Back room, away, secret, private. Deal, okay, we make a decision. So we're saying a decision that is made private, secret. But, I mean, do we need this? Unless you're making a backroom deal, okay. Unless you're making deals with other businesses that the public does not know about, secret deals, I mean, there's just no reason to know this phrase. So like I said, we need to find phrases that fit our job or fit our situation. Ballpark number is a guess. Oh, how much money did we make this month? Oh, I don't know yet. Okay, can you give me a ballpark figure? Can you give me a guess? Now, it just depends on your situation. Can I use these? That's why I say you need to find phrases that fit your life or fit your job. Otherwise, you just don't need it. It's the same like any vocabulary. So if we're going to treat this like vocabulary, that's one way. We can understand what the meaning is and how to put it in a sentence. But the other thing, what if I have a phrase? What if I have a phrase and I don't really understand the meaning? Okay? Let's take this one. Change of pace. So how can I try to understand this phrase without knowing what the meaning is? Like I said, we can go to the idiom.com, I can type in this phrase, and I'll get the meaning. But let's say I don't have that. How can I try to guess the meaning of this idiom from the words alone? Remember, the definition is giving me a picture, okay? The definition is giving me a picture. I need to use that picture to understand the situation, okay? So, let's do this. It's nice to go on business trips because it's a change of pace. So you hear this phrase, change of pace. How do I try to understand what does it mean in this sentence? Remember, our situation, we need to understand the situation to understand the meaning. In English, definition is not meaning. Definition in our situation is meaning. So, I'm saying it's nice to go on business trips. Why? Because it's a change of pace. So what could change of pace mean? Let's look at definitions first to try to get a picture. So, change, we understand the meaning. Change is something that is different. But pace, what is pace? Well, if you look up the definition of pace, it's the normal speed at which we do something. The normal speed at which we do something. So pace is walking. This is my walking pace. This is how I walk all the time. That's what we mean by pace, okay? The speed or the way we do something every time. So I'm saying change of pace. So pace is not just speed of walking or speed of eating or speed of doing something. We have to take this picture and put it in our situation. So I'm not saying change of walking speed. I'm talking about pace of my life. I use it in a more general sense, okay? So I mean pace, my normal speed of doing something. In a more general sense, I can say the normal way I do anything, like routine or schedule. So that's what I'm talking about. I use a very specific definition and I need to apply it. I need to use it in a very general sense, okay? So this is why idioms are confusing. Because you want to use definition to give you meaning, but there is no meaning from the definition. The definition is just giving you a picture. You need to add the meaning yourself. So we have to change the way we think about English. English is hard because it's not just definition. We call it figurative or symbolic, meaning our definitions aren't always the meaning. The definitions change the meaning depending on the sentence I put it in. So yes, pace can be speed of walking, but it's how I do anything. So how I do anything, well, I can call that routine or schedule. And I need to use it in the sentence because it doesn't have any meaning outside of the sentence. Because that's the point. Pace is how or speed of doing anything. Speed of walking, speed of eating, that's my pace. Okay? So I need to take that and put it into this situation. And then I can get more meaning. Because if I'm saying it's nice to go on business trips and I'm telling you why, the why is change of pace. I have to think about what could that mean in this situation. I don't go on business trips all the time. So that's why it's a change of my pace, change of my routine, change of my way of doing something. So this is the harder way to try to learn idioms because you really have to think about the situation. That's why I tell you, make it easy on yourself. Find some idioms that you like, that sound good to your ear, and that fit your situation, and then just focus on those idioms, okay? Because it's going to be confusing. We have to think about these things. Now, here's a very business idiom, purely for business. So, corner a market. Now, what do we mean by corner? Well, this is a corner, okay? The corner of a room, but remember, we're trying to think about what could this mean. how could this have meaning in my situation? Okay, so Apple has cornered the market on MP3 players. What do I mean? Let's just even change it. Apple has cornered the market on phones. So let's take this phrase and try to understand it. What is a market? It's where we buy and sell things. So what do I mean by cornered? Well, we have to think about putting the market in a corner. Well, what does it mean when I put the market in a corner? Think about what does it mean when you put something in the corner. Let's say your kid is being very rude. You tell him to go stand in the corner. Or imagine pushing someone into a corner. What does it look like? Does it look like I'm controlling the person? Does it look like I'm going to attack the person? Well, that's the picture I'm trying to give you. Apple is attacking the phone market. Apple is controlling the phone market. So that's what we mean by corner. And that's why we say it can be I am cornered, meaning I am being controlled. So this is what I mean. It can be very hard to learn idioms just from looking at the words, because you're going to get lost in definition. All idioms are used to create a picture in my mind, okay? All idioms are used to create a picture in my mind. So what we need to do is try to see the picture and then use that picture to understand my situation. Now this is a very easy one because we can imagine this very easily. It's very big picture. Cutthroat, throat is this part, cut throat. We can easily see that picture. But I'm not saying I'm going to kill you. That doesn't make sense. Let's say I put it this way. Sales. Sales is cutthroat, or sales is a cutthroat business. I'm not saying that if you go into sales, people are going to kill you. It's not literal. The definition is not the meaning. Remember the picture. What does it look like when I say this? We do this to mean I'm going to beat you, or I'm going to destroy you, or I'm going to win, you're going to lose. So we use this phrase to not tell you the definition, but to tell you the feeling. Sales is cutthroat. I'm saying that sales is very competitive, that people will try to win no matter what, that they will cut your throat to win, that they will try to kill you to win, not literally. Remember, it doesn't make sense. People are not killing each other to sell a car, okay? But that's the idea, the feeling that we're trying to give you. Idioms are less about definition. They're all about the feeling. That's why we use idioms. I want this picture because this picture gives you a lot of feeling, and that feeling gives you more understanding. There's one goal in English. How can I say something for you to understand with less words? And how can I say something in a different way than anybody else? That's pretty much every native speaker's goal. Every native speaker's goal is, how can I say the same thing in a different way? Or how can I give you more meaning with less words? Because cutthroat is a very scary image. That whole image is giving you a lot of feeling that you can put in this situation. So that's what we have to do. We have to open our minds a little bit. English has a lot of feeling in our words, and that's the whole point of an idiom. I'm giving you this picture so you have a deeper understanding and more feeling. Same thing. Now, this doesn't have to be business related, but I'm giving you a picture. Diamond. We all know what a diamond is. Very shiny stone in our ring. Now, diamond in the rough. Rough means not clean or not smooth. Okay? So imagine a diamond before the ring. A diamond before we use it. So what we're saying is someone that has potential, or something that has potential. Like a diamond in the rough would be, I can see how good you are inside, but your outside does not show it yet. So that's what we're trying to say. diamond in the rough. We're saying on the outside it does not look like a diamond, but it is a diamond on the inside. We just need to bring it out. We're trying to use pictures to understand this. Now, here's the thing. I can say, he is a diamond in the rough, meaning in the future he will be really great. But right now it's hard to see the great inside of him. So the whole point is I don't want to say all those sentences. Why did you hire him? I hired him because he's young, he looks like he will work hard, he doesn't have much experience, but I think if we give him a chance, he will be successful. Now, all of those words, all of those sentences I can say with just one phrase. He is a diamond in the rough. All of those feelings, all of those words, we can apply to one phrase and then have complete meaning. So idioms are powerful and they're common because of this reason. They're common for native speakers because of this reason, because they give us a lot of meaning in one picture. But it's also why it's so difficult to try to understand if you don't know what these phrases mean. Now, this is a little simpler. Easy come, easy go. Even something like a simple phrase like this can be difficult to understand if we don't put it in a situation. So, I can say, easy come, easy go, meaning something that we get easy, that we don't work hard for, it's easy to lose. Okay? So let's say this. I give you $20 every week. $20. Excuse me, $20 every week. But then I stop giving you $20. That's what we mean. Easy come because you don't do anything to get that $20. You don't work to do those $20. I just give it to you. So if I stop giving it to you, you have no way to get that $20 because it's not based on any hard work. Now, if you work every day, I have to pay you for your work. So that's what we mean by easy come, easy go. If it's something easy, it's easy to disappear. If you don't work for it, it's going to disappear very easily. These simple phrases are designed to give complicated situations an easy phrase. Complicated feelings, an easy phrase. Now, this is what I would recommend for anybody trying to learn idioms. Like I said, pick idioms that sound good to you because that's how I do it. That's how any native speaker does it. I say easy come, easy go because I like the phrase. The phrase sounds good and it fits the meaning I'm trying to give. So that's how I would recommend it. Now, some of these are going to be easier to guess, and some of these are going to be harder to guess. So how can we do this? This is what I recommend.